Good afternoon and welcome to the latest issue of Print21, a weekly video news bulletin for the Australia and New Zealand print industries. This issue is sponsored by Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and of press room consumables. QLM Label Makers is creating a new division, qlmflexibles, with innovative print businesses Luminar and Reed Labels and Packaging, and will target both the digital and FMCG flexible packaging markets under the new brand. The new business will offer flexible packaging, premium labels, folding cartons and barcode and label printers. It will also look to enter the long-run analog flexo market. Reed has actually been part of the company of QLM Label Makers for the past year. Luminar has just joined, the three outfits now combining to create QLM Flexibles. Luminar also, of course, gives QLM a manufacturing site in Sydney to add to those it has in Brisbane and Melbourne, and its 4 overseas facilities with plants in Bangladesh, Cambodia, Malaysia and Vietnam. Simon Pugh, CEO of the QLM Group, said, "We are incredibly humbled to combine these three great and innovative companies to provide Australian businesses with truly Australian-owned manufacturing." Both Reed and Luminar run HP Indigo to 20,000 digital flexible presses. Luminar also has a screen digital inkjet label press. Reed has invested in a third pouch making line this year and is on the point of ordering a fourth for installation in the second quarter next year. Ross Reed founded Reed Labels and Packaging just 8 years ago, while Luminar owner Matt Ellis transformed what was a small standard label printing business owned by his parents into a real digital innovator. QLM actually started the year with an acquisition too of label print business Elna Press, and that gave it its manufacturing facility in Melbourne. QLM is determined to compete as an Australian-owned business with the big multinationals in the label space, who of course themselves have been buying up local label companies. The government's new IR bill finally passed into law this morning, quickly passed into law this morning. Print employers, or not this morning, last week actually, Print Employers Association, PVCA, far from happy with it, especially the multi-employer bargaining part, but is committed to helping the industry as a whole and individual print businesses navigate through what could be the difficult elements of the bill. PVCA is issuing advisories and is running an industry briefing seminar. That's next Tuesday, 13th of December, to provide guidance and critical information across the incoming IR legislation. You go to the story on the print21.com.au news website, click on the link to register for that. PVCA is also urging printers to complete a new skills survey it's launching, which it will then use to lobby the new government to reinstate the 9 print awards into the Australian Apprenticeships priority list, from which they were sensationally dropped earlier this year by the previous government. The Industry Employers Association says the data used from the survey, the data used to feed into the decision to drop apprentices from the priority list is incorrect, flawed, against the government's own commitments, and is unedifying and based on internet job vacancies. That's what they used, according to PVCA. Now, as part of its mission to bring print apprentices back into the priority list of the government, PVCA is seeking to reverse what it described as that erroneous position. And so we can see apprentices back on the priority list at colleges like the one behind me, because skills and training requirement needs of the print industry, of course, are large. Print2Metal has scooped the Finder Photographer Australia Industry Vendor of the Year Award. Congratulations to Print2Metal. Co-owners Frank Herkstra and Maria Cosgrove, very proud of what is in fact their 3rd consecutive yearly win. The company prints onto metal by first printing onto a sublimation media with inkjet wide format printer, either it's Epsom or it's Mimaki, and then it heat presses the media onto a Chroma Lux aluminium sheet. It may be 18 months away, but drupa, the mother of all trade shows, is reaching a major milestone with 100,000 square meters of net exhibition space already booked out, and that's by around 900 exhibitors from 45 countries. And those exhibitors include Heidelberg. Closer to home, Visual Impact Sydney is 6 months away, but businesses keen to keep up with the latest in print, sign, display, wide format, engraving and textile printing, well, they're now able to register for the show. It'll actually be the first Visual Impact Expo in Sydney since well before the pandemic. and both Sydney-siders and visitors from across the state and around the country will be keen to see the latest developments at the show. That show runs from at the Sydney Showgrounds at Olympic Park there from 3rd to 5th of May. That's all for this week's Play Print21. For all these stories and more in full detail, go to print21.com.au. Thanks to our sponsor Ball & Doggett. This is Wayne Robinson signing off for another week.